Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Before we get started today, I want to quickly thank our sponsor, Samurai Kaizen Technical English Courses.
Oh, they're great.
If you're looking to improve your, English skills, especially in the tech world, be sure to check them out.
Yeah.
There's a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
And hey, if you're enjoying these deep dives, we'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the latest episodes.
Yeah, definitely.
We've even included a link in the show notes to a vocabulary list with all the tech jargon we'll be using today.
Very handy.
All right, so today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and kind of, unnerving. AI's role in fake news and deepfakes.
It's a big one.
We're going to kick things off with a recent incident that really, I think, shows just how powerful this technology can be.
Yeah, for sure.
Remember that whole situation just a few days ago, February 28th, with Trump and Zelensky at the White House?
Yeah, how could we forget?
Things got a little heated, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely got people talking.
And then all these videos started popping up online, showing things escalating even further.
Crazy, right.
The thing is, those videos, they weren't real, they were deepfakes.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just two world leaders disagreeing. It was AI-generated content that was literally changing the story.
That's wild.
And that's just one example of how this technology is being used out there.
Right, it's becoming more and more common.
Now, our sources really break down the technology behind deepfakes.
They do.
They cover things like GANs, autoencoders, even text-based AI models.
The whole shebang.
I gotta admit, some of these terms, they sounded pretty intimidating at first.
Oh, for sure.
But the sources actually do a really good job of explaining everything in a way that's easy to understand.
Yeah, they make it pretty clear.
So let's start with GANs, which stands for Generative Adversarial Networks.
All right.
They're kind of the driving force behind a lot of deepfake creation.
That's right.
It's like, imagine two AI algorithms going head-to-head.
Yeah.
One's trying to create fake content, right?
Right.
And the other one's acting like a detective trying to spot the fakes.
A digital detective?
In this constant competition, it actually pushes both AIs to get better and better.
That's right. They learn from each other.
Leading to those incredibly realistic results that we're seeing.
It's amazing how well they work.
And then you have autoencoders, which are also really fascinating.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, digital plastic surgeons.
Interesting.
They learn the structure of a face, and then they use that knowledge to, map it onto someone else.
So like those face swap apps, but way more advanced?
Exactly.
That's
I
incredible.
mean, there's text-based AI models, which, are becoming more and more powerful these days.
For sure.
I mean, we've all heard of programs like ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's talking about it.
And they can generate entire news articles or social media posts that sound like a real person wrote them.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
And our sources, they actually go beyond just explaining the technology. They list the specific software people are using to create these deepfakes. That's right. Programs like Deep Face Lab and Face Swap.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of those.
Even software that can, clone voices with incredible accuracy.
It's kind of scary how easy it's becoming.
Yeah, it's like something out of a spy movie, right?
For real.
This technology that was once just a concept is now, readily available.
Exactly.
And that's where things start to get a little unsettling.
For sure. The potential for misuse is huge.
Absolutely. But before we delve into the, the darker side of deepfakes, I think it's important to remember that there are also some positive applications for this technology as well.
Right. It's not all doom and gloom.
I mean, think about the possibilities in filmmaking, for instance.
Oh, yeah. Like in movies.
They could use deepfake technology to, de-age actors or even recreate deceased actors for new roles.
That's interesting.
Imagine, bringing historical figures to life in a way that feels completely authentic.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, and it's not just entertainment.
Right.
Think about the potential in education. AI-generated avatars could provide, personalized learning experiences.
Oh, that's cool.
Tailored to each student's needs.
Wow.
It could completely revolutionize the way we learn.
That's a game changer.
Instead of just reading a textbook, you could have a virtual tutor, explaining things in a way that makes sense to you.
I like that.
And for people with speech impairments,
Yeah.
AI-powered voice synthesis could be life-changing,
Yeah. Definitely.
giving them a new way to communicate.
It's amazing how this technology can be used for good.
It really is.
But of course, we need to talk about the potential downsides as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And those downsides are very real,
Yeah.
Deepfakes can be weaponized for political manipulation, fraud, even to damage someone's reputation.
It's scary to think about.
It is.
Imagine a deep fake video of a political leader, saying something inflammatory that they never actually said.
Right.
I mean, the consequences could be huge.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about spreading misinformation.
Right.
Cybercriminals could use voice cloning to impersonate company executives or even, like, loved ones,
Oh, wow.
tricking people into giving up sensitive information or money.
That's terrifying.
Like digital identity theft.
Yeah, but potentially even worse.
And, when we consider the bigger picture here,
Yeah.
it raises some fundamental questions, like how do we distinguish real from fake?
Right.
And who's responsible for verifying the authenticity of what we see and hear online?
Those are big questions.
And it feels like we're entering this whole new era of information warfare,
It does, doesn't it?
where the truth itself is up for grabs.
That's a scary thought.
It is.
We need to be really careful about what we believe these days.
Absolutely. And it's more important than ever to develop critical thinking skills
For sure.
and learn how to carefully evaluate information sources.
Yeah, you can't just trust everything you see online anymore.
You really can't.
It's a whole new world out there.
It is, and we need to be prepared to navigate it.
Absolutely. It can be a little overwhelming. Yeah.
For sure.
But the good news is, our sources also highlight some hopeful developments.
Well, that's good.
Did you know there are AI-powered tools being developed that can actually detect deepfakes?
Really?
Yeah.
So we're fighting fire with fire,
Exactly.
using AI to combat the misuse of AI.
Yeah, it's like, these AI models are trained on huge data sets of both real and fake videos.
Okay.
And they learn to pick up on those subtle patterns and inconsistencies
Interesting.
that humans might miss.
Uh-huh.
Things like unnatural blinking patterns.
Oh, okay.
Or discrepancies in how lips move when someone's talking.
Right.
Or even how shadows fall on a face.
Wow.
All those can be clues that could point to a deep fake.
So it's like these AI tools are kind of like digital detectives, constantly analyzing and looking for those telltale signs.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
And the exciting thing is that these AI detectives are becoming more sophisticated all the time.
That's good to hear.
Companies like Microsoft and Adobe.
They're investing heavily in this technology.
Okay.
And researchers are always refining these algorithms to make them even better.
That's reassuring, but let's be real.
Yeah.
Most of us don't have access to that kind of advanced technology.
Right.
So what can we do as individuals to protect ourselves from being fooled?
That's where media literacy comes in.
Okay.
And public awareness. Our sources really emphasize this.
Yeah.
We need to become much more critical consumers of information.
Especially online. Right.
Especially online, yeah.
It's like that old saying,
Yeah.
don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Right.
But now it's not just about what we read.
Yeah.
It's about what we see and hear, too.
So everything, yeah.
So in this age of deepfakes, it's more crucial than ever to really question our sources.
Yeah.
Look for evidence.
Right.
Be wary of anything that seems too good to be true.
Absolutely.
And speaking of things that seem too good to be true, our sources actually give us some practical tips.
For spotting deepfakes,
Okay.
they suggest paying close attention to details that might seem a little off,
Like what kind of detail?
like a blurry face.
Okay.
Or audio that sounds robotic.
Oh.
Or
Yeah.
if the source of the video is something you can't verify.
Right. Those are all good red flags.
Definitely.
And don't hesitate to do a little research,
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you see a video that seems questionable, try running it through a reverse image search.
Oh, right. You can do that.
Yeah, and look into the source's credibility.
Okay.
Check their website, their social media.
Uh-huh.
See if other reputable sources are reporting the same information.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I also remember seeing that there are even websites and apps designed to help us identify deepfakes.
Yeah, there are a few out there.
Like, Google Lens and Tecnico.
Right.
Do those actually work?
They can be helpful, yeah.
Oh.
Like Google Lens, it can give you more information about an image or a video you see online. And Tecnico, that's great for reverse image searching.
Okay.
You can upload a picture and see where else it pops up on the web.
That's cool.
Helps you figure out if it's authentic or not.
So it's about using all the tools we have,
Right.
both technological and our own critical thinking skills, to navigate this new landscape of information.
We're all detectives now.
I guess so.
In a way,
Yeah.
it's not just about being skeptical. It's about actively engaging with the information we encounter.
I like that.
The more we understand about how deepfakes are made and how to spot them,
Yeah.
the better equipped we'll be to protect ourselves.
Makes sense.
And it seems like there are more and more resources available to help us learn about this stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Our sources mention websites, articles, even documentaries dedicated to deepfakes
Wow.
and the fight against misinformation.
So it's a good thing to learn about.
Yeah, for sure.
It's important.
It's kind of like a digital arms race, you know?
Oh, interesting.
As the creators of deepfakes get more sophisticated,
Uh-huh.
the tools for detecting them have to evolve too.
Right.
It's a constant battle.
Yeah.
But it's one that I think we can win if we stay informed and stay vigilant.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
And even with all these tools and tips, it can still feel kind of overwhelming.
I get it.
It's almost like we have to question everything we see and hear online now.
I know, it's a lot.
It is.
But that's a natural response. And it's important to remember that there's no foolproof solution.
I guess not.
But the main thing here
Okay.
is that we can't let fear kind of paralyze us.
Don't let it control us.
Right. Like the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Right, but in this case, maybe it's also fear of being tricked or manipulated.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
For sure.
But the more we understand about deepfakes, the better prepared we are to navigate this whole new world of information.
Right.
Knowledge really is power in this situation.
It really is.
So don't panic, but don't be passive either.
Stay informed.
Yeah.
Be critical.
Uh-huh.
Keep learning.
That's the key.
That's what these deep dives are all about, right?
Exactly.
Exploring complex issues like this.
Yeah.
And empowering our listeners with the knowledge they need.
We want to give you the tools to identify fake news,
Yeah.
spot those deepfakes, and make informed decisions about what you believe.
Big time.
Because in the end,
Yeah.
it's up to each of us to be responsible citizens of this digital world.
We all have a role to play.
Absolutely.
We can't just passively consume information anymore. We have to be active participants.
Yeah.
Thinking critically.
Questioning sources.
And being willing to do that little bit of detective work
I like that.
to get to the truth.
It's important.
Yeah, and it's not about being perfect.
Of course.
We're all going to miss things sometimes.
For sure.
It's about being aware of the potential pitfalls.
Right.
And taking those steps to protect ourselves.
It's almost like wearing a seatbelt in a car. Oh, that's a good analogy.
You might never get into an accident.
Right.
But it's always better to be prepared.
Exactly. So let's continue our deep dive
Okay.
and explore some more strategies for navigating this whole world of AI and misinformation.
So where does all of this leave us then?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It feels like, with AI becoming more and more sophisticated, we all need to be extra vigilant about the information we consume.
Absolutely can't just take things at face value anymore.
You really can.
We got to question what we see, what we hear, do our own research.
Right.
Remember, knowledge, that's our best defense.
Knowledge is power, for sure.
It really highlights the need for, critical thinking.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
can't just be passive absorbers of information.
Right.
We've got to be actively engaged with it.
Be skeptical, ask questions.
Exactly. And this deep dive,
Yeah.
it's really just scratched the surface
Yeah.
of a very complex issue.
It is a complex issue.
We talked about how AI can be used to create deceptive content,
Right, to fool people.
but also how it's being used to develop tools to detect those deceptions.
Like fighting fire with fire.
Exactly. It's a constant back and forth.
The digital arms race, kinda.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And as AI technology keeps evolving,
Uh-huh.
that line between real and fake, it's going to get even blurrier.
That's scary to think about.
It is. It's almost like we're entering a new era of reality
Yeah.
where we can't always trust our own senses.
Wow, that's a really interesting way to think about it.
It is, and it just underscores why these conversations we're having are so important.
Yeah, to raise awareness.
We need to raise awareness, share knowledge, equip ourselves with the tools.
Give people the tools to protect themselves.
Let's navigate this new landscape. Yeah.
It's not just about reacting to problems as they pop up.
Right.
It's about being proactive and anticipating what's coming next.
Absolutely. And that's where you, our listeners, come in.
That's right.
By educating yourselves, sharing this information with others,
Spreading the word
demanding accountability.
from the people in charge.
You can help shape the future of AI
For the better.
in a positive way. Yeah.
We're all part of this evolving digital world.
We are, all of us.
We have a
You
responsibility
make sure technology is used ethically.
for good, not for bad.
It's about fostering a culture of critical thinking, promoting media literacy,
Right.
empowering individuals to know truth from falsehood.
It's about being informed,
Yeah.
engaged, empowered,
To make the right decisions.
not living in fear, but not being naive either.
Exactly. Well said.
This kind of makes me think of a question.
Oh, what's that?
How do we balance, the amazing potential of AI with the need to safeguard truth?
And authenticity.
It's a tough one.
It is. It's a question we'll be grappling with for years to come.
I'm sure.
It's a conversation that needs to keep happening.
Absolutely.
And I think this deep dive, it's contributed to that conversation in a meaningful way.
I hope so.
I think so, too.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into AI, deepfakes,
Yeah, it's been a good one.
and the future of information. It's a wild world out there.
It is.
We'll keep diving into these important topics.
For sure.
So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out.
Stay tuned.
And hey, if you want to, take your English skills to the next level, especially in the tech world, don't forget to check out our sponsor,
Samurai Kaizen.
Samurai Kaizen. They're fantastic.
They are.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring,
Stay curious.
and stay informed.
That's it. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you have any questions. This is Samurai Kaizen. See you in the next one.